Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The important news and editorial that would be relevant for the preparation of civil services examination will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 25th of August. The first important news, that is India and the Northern Sea route, something important and significant not only for India but many other countries as well. Second, BRICS agrees to add 6 new members, after which the expansion will take place and the inclusion will call for a new nomenclature for the BRICS in the due course of time. Third, that is India seeks level playing field for the e-commerce companies. Second last, that is Prime Minister raised LAC concern with China on the sidelines of the talk that is ongoing at the BRICS summit in Johannesburg in South Africa. The meeting was held between, this is not an official meeting, but an informal meeting that took place. The discussion was made regarding the LAC. And the last is an editorial, the real purpose of the medical colleges. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming examination. So without any further ado, let's get started. And before I begin the session, if you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do hit that like button. And before I proceed with the discussion, just to give you the brief about the new initiative, that is Nisha. This is an all India test series program that is meant to guide you in a way that you get excel in the prelims examination of the UPSC, right? So a total of 4900 plus question has been encapsulated in this. With the discussion, video discussion will be provided to you. Demo test is also there. Along with this, free magazines will be provided, right? If you're someone who's looking for conquering the part of UPSC Prelims 2024, you definitely need to register for the Nisha All India Test Series program. You can use this QR code for better assistance. The price for this particular test series program is 9,099 for offline, and for online that is 7,900. Right? You can just I've provided a particular link in the description section of this video from where you can also be redirected to this particular program, or even you can call us for further details. So this was about the Nisha All India Test Series program to conquer UPSC prelims examination. Now starting the news discussion, that is India and the Northern Sea route, something important for General Studies paper 2, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So Northern Sea route, better known as NSR, has been short-shaping the route for the freight transportations between the Europe and other countries, that is Asia Pacific region, with 4 sea in the Arctic Ocean. So you can see the part has become very important. If you see the North Sea route, the country mostly being benefited and the oceans that is there. The first is the part for Pacific, the other is Suez Canal route, that is through Indian Ocean, and we have Suez Canal here as well. And you can see this is at the Rotterdam, Netherlands, right? The countries surround almost a part of Asia's and other important countries, expanding to the larger part of China and Russia, right? Now, Murmansk, the popularly known as the capital for the Arctic region, is the beginning point for the Northern Sea and is witnessing the rising trend in India's involvement in the cargo traffic. If you see, India has already come up the new logistic policy where Government of India has also categorically talked about the part for cargo and its augmentation in further at the global level. India has been also showcasing the part of greater interest for the NSR and the variety of reasons. Now, if you look at the part, for this particular map, there's other picture that I wanted to give you. So, relevant for the examination although. So this is Murmansk, to Europe, to US. So this is the particular locations that will be immediately benefited from the Kara Seas and from the Bering Sea deposits. This is the exact location that is located. Now, significance of the Arctic region for India, how and why India is interested on that part. So Arctic, which is above the Arctic Circle, include the part of Arctic Oceans and even the North Pole, which may have impact on the India's in terms of economic security, water security, and even for the sustainability. If you're writing in mains examination, make sure you highlight these key points or keywords that will be relevant for the mains specifically. The region also constitutes the large unexplored perspective for hydrocarbon remaining for the Earth. It is estimated that the region may hold 40% of the global reserve oil and gas. There may be significant reserve of coal, zinc, and silver. So it is expected that the exploration can further give the boost to the part of coal, zinc, and silver. However, the गवर्नमेंट ऑफ आर्टिक पॉलिसीज आई मीन 2022 की अगर बात करें, गवर्नमेंट ने ऑलरेडी अप्रोच किया है इस तरह की पॉलिसीज फॉर इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट गाइडेड बाय यूएन सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल बीट फॉर 21st जनवरी जितने भी टारगेट्स मीट करने की बात की गई है, वेदर इट इज आर्टिक पॉलिसी और एनी अदर एक्सप्लोरेशन पॉलिसीज, सस्टेनेबिलिटी हैज बिकम एन इंटैक्ट एंड दैट इज इनएविटेबल इन दैट कंटेक्स्ट फॉर द पार्ट ऑफ द फर्दर डेवलपमेंट. Now, India's engagement with the Arctic, how India is engaged and what are the treaty that is involved. So, India's engagement in the Arctic can be traced with the signing of the Svalbard Treaty, or better known as Svalbard Treaty. In February 1920 in Paris, India is undertaking significant studies when it comes to the research in Arctic. अगर बात करें कुछ important stations के भी वो भी बनाई गई है. India has set up the research station as Himadri in 2008. The country launched its inaugural multi-sector mode observatory in the northern hemisphere and laboratory in 2014 and 16 respectively. और ये encompass करती है for the part of atmospheric, biological, marine, hydrological and glaciological studies. So that's a lot of it's a gambit of studies that has been taken care for the part of the experiment for the Arctic region. And the station setting up of the research station has even called for augmenting the part of research and its ambit. The last year, 13 expeditions to the Arctic were successfully conducted, and in May 2013, India has become the observer state for the Arctic Council and 5 other, including China. So, Arctic Council in general is important for the part of prelims examination. There can be a direct question. If you're writing in mains, you can specifically highlight that India has having the observer state status. Now, how is Russia making NSR the part of navigable? So the seas for the Arctic Oceans remain icebound, and mostly throughout the year ये region जो है that is icebound only. Ice breaking assistance is organized to have a safe navigations across the NSR, and Russia is the only country in the world that has nuclear powered icebreaker fleet according to the Rosatom State Nuclear Energy Corporation. So they have categorically noted that Russia is capable of doing this. So that make Russia more significant in the region, right? In December 1959, the world's first nuclear icebreaker, that is Lenin, was put into operations, unveiling the new chapter for the NSR development. And it was decommissioned after 30 years. 30 years later actually. So the part of process which is there, it has a different part of operations that is currently on. Some driving factor that even called for India's participations in the NSR, primarily the growth in the cargo traffic along with the NSR is in constant rise from 2018 to 22, and the growth was anticipated and the witness was actually at 73%. India is increasing import the part of crude oil, coal from Russia in the recent year, and the record supplies of the energy resources from the economy are possible due to such reliable and safe transfer of artery at NSR. Secondly, अगर बात करें और क्या significant है, NSR has assumed importance in India's geographical positions and major share of its trade associated with the sea transport. Third, that is experts are discussing on the possibilities of China and Russia's gaining collective influence over the NSR. Now moving to the other news, that is BRICS agrees to add 6 new members in it. Something very important that called for expansion, even long pending, and India has been advocating for the part of expansion of the BRICS as well. So important for General Studies paper 2, that is bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So the 5-nation grouping has emerged as the economy known for the BRICS, which views itself as a counterweight to West. जितने भी वेस्ट के जो important multilateral forums उनको काउंटर करने के लिए ब्रिक्स बनाई गई थी, that has invited 6 more countries to join. I'll tell you the name of the countries, but this was actually conceptualized as a concept in the recent BRICS summit that is held at Johannesburg in South Africa. Now, the country that is expected to join BRICS include the part of Argentina, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and United Arab Emirates. Right, so they will become full member from 1st January onwards, 2024. The current member of the BRICS include Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. By doubling the number of the members from 5 to 11, it will have a quick sweep, and the BRICS has strengthened the positions in the global grouping and the reconvent. So this is a part of a forum that will even call for a wide ambit of its responsibility and even sustaining back to the society as well. Now, these are some of the official images that was released during the BRICS summit, where the 5 leaders from the countries have actually held a meeting. This was official images that was released by the BRICS. Now, countries that are joining the BRICS, I have already talked about that. So the country include Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, we have Argentina, Ethiopia. Other countries include the part of India and China is already there. I will just show you a diagram that will give you more clarity on the part. So the country joining, the present is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. The country that will be joining is Argentina, Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and United Arab Emirates. So you need to learn this many a times in competitive examinations. For many other competitive examinations that you will be appearing for, a direct question can be framed in this regard. Right? Now, India seeks level playing field for the smaller e-companies, that is e-com companies, something important for General Studies Paper 3, that is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. The Prime Minister has recently made a strong pitch and where he called for ensuring an equitable competitions among the large and small vendors of the e-commerce space to empower the small enterprises and integrate with the global supply chain. Something very important that called for a healthy competition and even called for flourishing for the part of the entities that is at the lower domain. Seeking more attention for the global policies, the policy makers are looking for the part of micro, small and medium enterprises. Right, that is MSME. The Prime Minister has pointed out that this should be at 60 to 70% of the employment, where 50% of the global gross domestic product. MSME की काफ़ी अहम भूमिका है when it talks about the part of contribution. Largely it contributes to 60 to 70%, and gross domestic product of the country is something 50% contribution that is coming out of the MSME. Now, participations in the global trade, if you see, the Prime Minister has highlighted that enhancing the e-companies' participations in the global trade, global value chain has a high priority for G20. The proposed Jaipur initiative to foster the streamlined flows of the informations will address the challenges in adequate access to market and business related informations by the MSME. So again, the sector which is contributing almost close to 60 to 70% definitely need to put more focuses. We need to work collectively to ensure equitable competitions among the large and the small vendors and even for the companies. The Prime Minister raised LAC concern with China, that is a line of actual control in the Eastern Ladakh region, something important for General Studies Paper 2, that is India and its neighborhood relations. The Prime Minister has recently spoke to Chinese President, that is Xi Jinping, and highlighted that India has conquered to unresolve the issues of line of actual control. The meeting with the Chinese president was on the sideline of the BRICS summit that is ongoing in Johannesburg in South Africa. Now, efforts for this engagement, there have been a lot of efforts, काफ़ी ज़्यादा military level के talks भी हुए हैं, but India and China agreed to step up the part of disengagement of the troops and de-escalations of the tension in the line of actual control. Controversy के बाद meeting भी हुई है Prime Minister and the Chinese President on the sideline of BRICS summit in South Africa. The Prime Minister has outlined that the maintenance of peace and tranquility in the border is very important, and LSCA is an essential for a normalization of India-China relationship. We cannot proceed further until and unless we have an optimism and a sense of positivity coming out from the Chinese. Now, one counter, this interaction which was made by the Prime Minister on the sideline of the BRICS summit, they have categorically talked about the part of the shared vision, and the multiple round of talks were also held with the Chinese other dignitaries. 19 round of the talks with the diplomat and the part of military officials has also been there, which is an incremental progress in resolving the standoff. with two sides in the top, that is coming for the positive, and no word for any pullback or troops on the ground. Now moving ahead with the editorial of the day, that is the real purpose for the medical colleges, something important for general studies paper 2, that is issues related to development and management of health. Now if you look at the article, the editorial has a focus and a theme, that is medical colleges and its role in public health. Purpose of the medical college, some of the issues that I'll be looking into is that. Second is the policy purposes for 2019, the colleges and the myth, tertiary care needed, and the part of the way forward. A recent report where a patient was suffering, and it was found that some surgical instrument was left behind her stomach in the case of the medical negligence that was reported in the state of Kerala. Not for any other state, but this is for Kerala, a state which is known for its advanced healthcare system in the country, and even the growing vacancies that is coming out from the Bachelor of Dental Surgery and the Master of Dental Surgery. The part of dental colleges across the country is happening to raise the potential and the role played by the medical colleges in India. See, when it comes to doctor, they are treated and related to the part of God. Their role in the society is very, very important and significant. They definitely get an undue respect in the society, but some incidents make them more lenient. I mean, the lenient approach can have something that even risk the human life as well. Now, what is the purpose of medical colleges? A medical college is an institution that has a dual process. How? First and foremost, that it is an educational role, primarily an institutions for education, training students to become a medical professionals through the teaching and apprenticeship, that is internship. उसके अलावा medical college hospital has a state of art facilities that established to ensure the part that ensure the besides care mandatory requirement for apprenticeships and most crucial component of the medical training, right? The secondary purpose is to offer the medical care. Policy proposal of 2019 की अगर बात करें, 2019 में the union government, the central government has actually come up to convert the district hospital or to medical colleges, which is being pursued by the policy of sanctions of the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, that is AIIMS. AIIMS is a top-notch institution in our country that is always preferred for the high level of medical treatment. काफ़ी AIIMS अभी हाल के दिनों में खुले हैं, तो जितने भी medical colleges हैं उनके level को बढ़ाने की बात की गई है at the AIIMS level, and it's highlight to the part of examine for the contributions of medical colleges from patient care to the public health perspective. Now, some myths that is related to the colleges. I mean, there's a myth having medical college sanctions for a district would take care of every health for the people. I mean, हर एक individual के लिए basically एक sanctions doctors या फिर focused treatment होगी, ऐसी possible नहीं है, because we have a good chunk of population which cannot be catered, I mean, adequately. They need to have a waiting line. I mean, only government hospital cannot cater that, right? They need to have a private involvement. The popular support of the goodwill for the medical college is supplemented with another myth, making it more medical professional in the solutions and adequate access to the healthcare as well. Tertiary care needs की अगर बात करें, the advanced tertiary care will comprise of approximately 1% of the total population, so that the district populations with the 3 million would mean that the bed requirement for 575 to 700 specialized bed की जरूरत पड़ेगी. उसके अलावा the hospitals are expected to cater the need for specialized tertiary care, which is again something difficult for a country like India. Most important, there is a overload for the patients awaiting for the treatment for this higher facilities, that is district hospital or the medical colleges. On contrary, अगर well functioning medical colleges की बात करें in the country, they face a problem with the part of crowding of the patients, and even primary or secondary level पे बात करें, that could be also handled with the lower level of facilities, but everyone wanted to have a best level of treatment that they can avail from the part of government hospitals. If you look at the conclusion part of the way forward, there's a need to shatter the myth with the medical colleges that being the site for healthcare solutions and for the masses. Instead, straightening for the secondary level curative care, the best policy for the government is to strengthen the healthcare system, and even setting up for the medical colleges in district and popular policy responsible for the marks. The real problem for inadequate provision for the secondary level healthcare is something very important. So you need to take into this thing consideration. If you're writing specifically in mains paper, make sure you highlight this. And in India, the medical college definitely has a potential to play a very important and crucial role in augmenting the part of healthcare services and its facilities. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option was C. For second question, the correct option was A. Today's MCQ for practice, B-21 Raider. It's first of the new American Bombardier aircraft for more than 30 years. It takes names from 1942 to light range. So do check out for the correct option, specifically for the students or the aspirants who will be appearing for CAPF examination. For them, there can be a direct question framed by the UPSC. The other is Akash missile. It has 25 kilometers, can simultaneously engage in the part of all weather conditions. It was inducted in 2014 with the Air Force and 2015 with the Army. So do check out for the correct options. We have a lot more other platforms where the questions are published on daily basis to help you to excel in the part of the preparation. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other queries, concern about the admissions, test series and courses, you can reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.